She walked into the room with the folder in hand, and in that moment, everything changed forever. On a sprawling plot of land in Arizona, dreams were woven together with the promise of unity. But behind the scenes, hidden ledgers, and whispers of betrayal. In the heart of a plural marriage, trust was replaced with entitlement. Two women, one holding property deeds, the other holding a heart that could no longer remain silent, now stand at a crossroads. This is the untold story of Janelle Brown and Christine Brown Woolley, their struggles, their heartache, and their fight for something more. Stick with us, because at the 25-minute mark, the land dispute shifts, and the truth will flip everything you thought you knew. It begins with property, with plural marriage, with a dream shared, but it ends with one woman fighting for her stake, and the other fighting for her worth. U.S. women, you might just see yourself in these pages. Part 1. In 2018, Kody Brown and his plural marriage family bought approximately 14 acres of land in Flagstaff, Arizona. The place, known as Coyote Pass. Their plan, a compound where each wife, and their 18 children, could live close by and build a new life. Among those wives was Janelle Brown, once the longtime partner, mother of 6, ready for a fresh start. And alongside her were Mary Brown, Robyn Brown, and formerly Christine Brown. The dream sounded simple: build homes, live in harmony, share not just family but also the land. But as reality set in, internal fractures began to show. Why? Because equal dreams didn't always mean equal ownership. As lawyered documents and signed deeds later revealed, the stakes were more than emotional, they were financial. For Janelle, what seemed like a partner project slowly turned into a trust exercise, and then, a stand-up fight. What happens when the man who says he paid 92% of the lot admits he thought about screwing someone? We'll get there. Between the years of 2021-2024, the marriage structure at Coyote Pass began to crumble. Christine left the group in 2021. Janelle separated from Kody in late 2022. Mary followed in early 2023. Meanwhile, Kody and Robyn remained at the center of the ownership web. On the screens of Sister Wives (TLC), viewers watched Janelle say in a confessional, "I'm paying off this dang property, but now we're fighting over how to divide it. I don't know what to expect from Kody." Behind the scenes, ownership records told the true story: multiple parcels, different acreages, uneven shares. One 2.42-acre plot, one 4.48-acre, one 5.16-acre, all tied into the dispute. Property transfers, deeds of just $10, and an ultimatum: divide it fairly, or be forced to fight. Janelle and Mary began to suspect that Kody was dragging his feet. That something was off. That their stakes were more than spiritual, they were legal. When trust breaks down, what remains is the cold ledger of law. In early 2025, Janelle told producers she couldn't fully move on from Kody until this property fight was over. The seeds of revolt were planted, and Janelle armed herself, figuratively, with the receipts. At the 20-minute mark we'll expose the transfer that changed everything. Here comes the turning point. The moment when the quiet frustration turned into a publicly visible split. The land wasn't just being sold, ownership shares were being restructured before the sale. On March 27, 2025, 2 of the parcels were transferred from Kody and Robyn to include Janelle and Mary. One parcel was transferred for just $10 from Kody and Janelle to Janelle and Mary. That meant, Janelle and Mary finally got the ownership stake that gave them control. No longer dependent on Kody's cooperation. Their legal standing improved. Their power elevated. Suddenly, the narrative flipped. The ex-wives weren't passive recipients, they were empowered owners. Meanwhile, Kody's position weakened. He claimed, "We didn't pay for Coyote Pass all equally. I paid for an entire lot myself, at least 92% of it." But Janelle and Mary had the receipts, the deeds, the transfers, and the story began to shift in their favor. In April 2025, the property sold, for roughly $1.5 million. Estimated $375,000 apiece for Janelle, Mary, Kody and Robyn. Yet the emotional cost, far greater. For Janelle, this was not just money, but a full stop to the chapter with Kody. She told cameras, "I just don't want to have to talk to him, interact with him, nothing." That is the twist. The women didn't just fight for fairness, they became owners. And the man holding the reins found them gone. The fan reaction and the public backlash you won't believe. The climax unfolded on and off screen. On the show, cameras captured Janelle and Mary preparing for legal consultation, Kody refusing to hurry the sale because of his current wife, Robyn. In real life, fans weighed in. On Reddit, one user observed, "The new deeds give each person a share of the lot. Janelle and Mary still own land with them and each other, but they aren't trapped or tied down." Women across the country watching this story saw something deeper. When a woman says, "I have the receipts," she isn't just speaking about documents, she's declaring her worth. Janelle didn't just demand her share, she walked away. On social media, her fans cheered. Empowerment, fairness, ownership. "Yes, claim your stake," they typed. Meanwhile, Kody faced intense scrutiny. Was he keeping control? Was he fair? His claim, "I'm not trying to rip you off," that's all imagined in Janelle's head. But for Janelle and Mary, the proof was in the property records. Ownership files, transfers, the numbers, the split, the shift. For Janelle it was emotional. She told viewers, "As long as that property remains a source of contention, I can't fully move on." So what's next? For Janelle, it's a new chapter. A new land, 156 acres in North Carolina, called Taeta Farms, co-founded with her daughter. Her stake from Coyote Pass will help fuel the dream. For Mary, it's about stepping into her power. In one episode she said she'd push the issue. She shifted from peacemaker to assertive owner. For women watching, the narrative resonates. Whether in marriage, business, or property, it matters who holds the paperwork, who has transparency, and who demands fairness. This isn't just a reality TV land flip. It's a lesson. You may have contributed, but until your name is on the deed, your voice might be silent. And in the end, Janelle's bold move may signal a shift. In plural households, partnership isn't enough, ownership matters. Stick around for the final minute, your takeaway, your call to action. In the story of Coyote Pass, the land became a mirror. It reflected dreams, division, ownership, identity. Janelle Brown stood up, not just for a parcel of Arizona earth, but for her value, her voice, her future. If you're watching this as a woman navigating partnership, contract, family business or shared finances, ask yourself, do I have the receipts? Do I have the ownership? Am I in the room, or am I left waiting for someone else's decision? If you're in a shared asset situation, review the ownership documents. Ask for clarity. If you feel ignored, speak up. Don't wait for someone else to hand you permission. Comment below, which part of Janelle's journey resonated most with you? Because this is more than entertainment, it's empowerment. The land is sold. The chapter closed. But the message lingers. Hold the deed. Know your value. Claim your stake. Part 2. Christine Brown married Kody Brown in 1994, joining a plural marriage family featured on the popular series Sister Wives. For decades, she dedicated her life to the family, the home, the faith. She believed in the promise: multiple wives, shared lives, strong community. But behind the cameras and the shared smiles, there were fractures. Choices unspoken, emotions unaddressed, hopes unfulfilled. In recent episodes, Christine opened up about how she felt betrayed, particularly by fellow sister wife Robyn Brown. She said, "I feel betrayed by Robyn. Just betrayed." She admitted she stopped confiding in her, because trust had been broken. Those words set the stage for what was about to unravel. What she revealed next shook the family, and the fans. As the years unfolded, Christine found herself wrestling with something she couldn't ignore: the feeling of being unseen. A wife among wives, a mother among many, and a woman still searching to be known. She reflected on therapy homework, listing traits she wanted in a partner. She wrote, "Good communicator, someone present, someone attracted to me." And when Kody looked at her and admitted, "I'm not any of those things for you," she knew the truth. Meanwhile, relationships with Meri and Robyn eroded. Christine's voice cracked as she said, "There were just a couple times where I trusted her, and then I'd get in trouble for them. I can't trust her." The tension grew. The cameras captured the awkward birthdays, the sidelong glances, the silent dinners. On screen it was polite. Off screen it was personal. Christine's trust had been compromised, and the cost was more than emotional. Coming up, the revelation she never expected, the one that made her say, "Enough." Here is the turning point. The twist. The moment when Christine stopped hoping for repair, and started demanding respect. In her newest interview she revealed, she no longer speaks to Robyn or Meri. Not because of a whim, but because of what she discovered. She said, "I haven't talked to Meri or Robyn for years, we'll just keep it like that. I don't need to develop a relationship with them." The very sister-wife circle she once trusted became sealed off. She wasn't the wounded wife crossing her arms and hoping for apology. She was the woman taking her dignity and walking away. But why? Because she found out what so many women discover too late. When your voice is silent, your value is invisible. And she decided to be seen. The house remained. The footage existed. The family continued. But Christine changed the rules of engagement. She wouldn't invite them to her next wedding. She wouldn't extend olive branches she didn't believe in. She moved on her own terms. At minute 30 we'll dive into the fan reaction, and why women everywhere are cheering her on. The climax unfolded not with shouting or confrontation, but with quiet strength. Christine married David Woolley in October 2023, signifying the final chapter of her old life and the bold beginning of her new one. But back at home, the silence was loud. The absence of relationships with her former sister wives became a statement. In her confessional she admitted, "Having Robyn there just showed that I don't know how long it's going to take for all of us to get back together again and be okay in each other's presence." Fans responded. In comment sections and hashtags, the narrative shifted. This wasn't just reality TV, it was a real woman reclaiming her story. Tweets echoed, "Yes Christine, own your worth." Threads formed around the moment she said she wouldn't be friends with people who did her harm. The backlash was inevitable too. Critics of the show said she left the family, that she shut doors, that she turned her back. But many women watching didn't see betrayal, they saw empowerment. They saw a woman who was done waiting to be seen, and started seeing herself. What happens after the storm? For Christine, it's freedom. It's a life centered on love, respect, and clarity. She no longer divides her attention among competing marriages or conflicting loyalties. She is free to prioritize her voice, her values, her heart. For women everywhere watching, the lesson isn't about plural marriage or television drama, it's about self-worth. It's about knowing that if you're in the room and still feel invisible, maybe it's time to change the room. Christine's story shows that the hardest betrayal may come from the person you trusted most. But that doesn't define you. What defines you is how you respond. Do you stay silent? Or do you claim your story back? Stay with us for the final minute, your takeaway and what you can do if you feel invisible in your own story. In the journey of Christine Brown Woolley, we witness not just a reality TV arc, but a human one. Betrayal, heartbreak, silence, and ultimately, awakening. What she lost was the status quo. What she gained was herself. If you're in a relationship, personal, professional, or familial, where you feel unseen or unheard, start the conversation. Ask for clarity. Ask for respect. If trust has been broken, evaluate not just the hurt, but the outcome. Are you staying because of duty, or because of value? Comment below. What part of Christine's journey resonated with you most, and why? Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. In 2018, Janelle Brown and her husband at the time, Kody Brown, joined the larger Brown family's purchase of around 14 acres in Flagstaff, Arizona, known as Coyote Pass. Their goal: 5 homes, 1 compound, 1 unified future. But as developments stalled, tensions mounted. Meanwhile, on a parallel path, Christine Brown Woolley had already left the plural marriage framework in late 2021. For Christine, the fracturing of her relationship with Kody, and the perceived betrayal by fellow sister wife Robyn Brown, was deeply personal. She revealed, "I feel betrayed by Robyn." For Janelle, the fight became legal. She told cameras she might lawyer up, because she didn't feel she had any legal rights under a spiritual marriage. The two storylines, land dispute and personal betrayal, are converging. And as we watch, the emotional pressure builds. What happens when the person you once trusted becomes the one you can't rely on? Keep watching. For women across the US, this isn't just reality TV, it's a cautionary tale. About ownership of land, of self, about being seen by family, by partner, about valuing the terms of the deal when the dream changes. Let's zero in on Janelle first. On a season of Sister Wives, Kody told her bluntly, "If you don't respect me, don't bother with the love." That remark cracked the foundation. Janelle responded, "She's not going to be steamrolled." On Coyote Pass, land lines blurred. Ownership was spiritual. Expectations were shared. But payments and decision-making weren't equitable. Janelle complained, cameras caught. We're finally paying off this dang property, but now there's this big fight about how do we divide it. Meanwhile, Christine's wound festered. She revealed that Kody melted Mary's wedding ring, symbolically erasing a marriage. Mary said, "Who's to say that he didn't just melt down our whole relationship in that moment?" Christine then shut the door on trust. She said she hadn't spoken to Mary or Robyn in years. She moved on her terms. Coming up, the documents you weren't shown, forms, transfers, receipts. And they change everything for Janelle. Women watching. When you contribute and you're told your contract is spiritual, your real rights may be invisible. When someone you trusted talks of thinking about screwing you over in a property dispute, yes, that happened. The question becomes, who holds the power? And now, the twist. It turns everything. In early 2025, the Coyote Pass land officially sold for $1.5 million. Kody claimed he wasn't trying to rip off Janelle or Mary, saying, "That's all imagined in Janelle's head because Janelle feels like, oh, I got divorced so I deserve something." But Janelle had receipts, deeds, demand letters. She told her ex, "If you're not willing to buy me out, I'm going to have to lawyer up." The sale changed more than the land value, it changed the power dynamic. At the same time, Christine's path revealed a different freedom. She wasn't just walking away, she was walking toward. Her marriage to David Woolley in October 2023 marked a full stop to the old life and beginning of a new one. What began as two separate stories, one about land, one about betrayal, merge into one truth. When you take your stakes seriously, whether legal or emotional, you reclaim your self-worth. At minute 35 we'll go into how the fans reacted, and the backlash that changed the narrative. This is not just about to which wife gets what acreage. It's about who gets to decide to stay, and who gets to decide to walk away. Here's where the climax hits. On screen, the cameras captured charged confessions, stinging rebukes, and one realization: the family facade has cracked. Robyn tried being BFFs with Mary and then Christine, to then ultimately betray them. "It's so obvious to me." On YouTube comment feeds, women applauded Janelle and Christine. Yes, claim your stake. Others debated, was Kody behaving as the wronged party? Fox News quoted him saying, "They have all betrayed me, I am out of my mind." This reaction is important. For USA women viewers, these are more than dramas on TV, they're metaphors for workplace, marriage, family dynamics. When you feel invisible, when you feel bypassed, when you feel undervalued, this story resonates. Meanwhile, the property sale moved forward. Meanwhile, Christine's new life blossomed. The dust began settling. Up next, how this all leaves a legacy, and what it means for you. The climax isn't shouting. It's walking out. It's showing up for yourself. It's the moment you handle your business, or you leave it behind. After the storms, what remains? For Janelle, a new chapter. After the sale and separation, she posted that she's finally putting down some permanent roots in North Carolina with her new venture, Coyote Farms. For Christine, a life cleansed of old alliances, defined by her own terms, joined with a partner she sees eye to eye. When you're told something's spiritual but not legal, ask for documents. When trust is broken, silence might be your enemy. When you feel unseen in a group, a marriage, a team, you can either wait to be recognized, or recognize yourself. This story transcends reality TV. It becomes a mirror. Are you being paid in promises, or in real-world value? Are you contributing, and still voiceless? Are you waiting, or acting? Final minute is coming. Your takeaway, your next move. Because the final stage of any story isn't the end of the conflict, it's the new beginning of the person. In the intertwined journeys of Janelle Brown and Christine Brown Woolley, we've seen betrayal, land, freedom, but above all, rebirth. Two women who once believed in shared dreams, only to find their own dreams required claiming their own space. To you watching, if you're in a situation where your value is hidden, your contribution unrecognized, take this as your cue. Check the records, set the terms, speak your truth. If you're watching this story and it hits home, like this video. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future stories of empowerment for women. Which part of Janelle's or Christine's journey resonated with you? Have you ever felt invisible in your own story? Share this video with a woman you believe deserves to be seen. Because the story ends here, but your next chapter starts now. Are you going to wait for permission, or write your own terms? Thank you for watching. See you on the next journey of strength, ownership and freedom. Fade out to end card. Subscribe, watch more empowering stories, share your voice.